Hello everyone. My name is Andre Bastos, and I would like to invite you to our webinar for InduSoft Web Studio, our version 7.1. Today we're gonna be talking about the integration between InduSoft Web Studio and the reporting package called Dream Report. This will be our agenda for this webinar. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the company InduSoft itself. Some of you guys may not be familiar, that may be your first contact with the company, so I'm gonna give you a brief overview about who we are and what we do, and then our current existing reporting solutions, and how the integration between InduSoft Web Studio and the Dream Report is going to happen. And after that, we're gonna have a very special guest. Mr. Ilya Chernogu is going to present the company Ocean Data Systems, the makers of Dream Report. Is going to show the product, some of the capabilities, and then also how to integrate the Dream Report with InduSoft Web Studio. Okay, so thanks everybody for attending this webinar. At the end, we're gonna have a Q&A, question and answer section, so you'll be able to ask your questions, and either me or our guest Ilya, we are going to respond to you. Okay. So InduSoft as a company was established in the United States back in 1997. We feel very proud to be pioneer in industry in some key things, for example, being the very first HMI/SCADA package to have a complete solution for Windows CE when it first came out, and that was back in 1997, 1998 version 1. We had already a package running on that embedded system, and even today on Windows CE 7 we are still running, and the same project that was working 10 years ago still works on the latest Windows embedded solution. We were one of the very first ones to have a complete web solution and XML integration in any SCADA and HMI package, okay, even for Windows embedded system. And we hold a patent for database connectivity, that you can have your project running on any Windows operating system and connecting to any database through our patented gateway. We hold some certifications that we are showing here. We are Microsoft Gold Partner. It's very important to be a Gold Partner because you have access to all the Microsoft products even way before their release. So right now we are validating our product against Windows 8 and Windows 2012 server, and we are also an ISO 9001 certified company. We just had our certificate renewed now in June, and we are OPC Foundation members since 1998. We also hold Motorola and AT&T certification as well, and throughout the years we've been getting several important awards on the industrial automation world, some of them from Control Engineering, the magazine. The readers, they pick us to receive the prize. We are very proud of that. And also Frost & Sullivan, we've been getting that since 2005. We've been getting some of those awards. So let me spend some time here to talk a little bit about the InduSoft Web Studio product. It's a software for you to develop projects to run on any Windows operating system. It goes all the way from embedded Windows like Windows CE that runs on PDAs on phones, all the way up to Windows servers. All the screenshots that you see on this presentation here, on this slide, they are from actual projects. So very high redundant server systems, all the way down to small small PDA size screens projects here, and also, I don't know, panel PC 12 inches that you put on your machine. What that gives you is the flexibility of developing the project using just one product, which is InduSoft Web Studio, and run in any different hardware, any kind of hardware. So let's say that you develop the project, you want to run on a Windows embedded, on an ARM processor, and then you decide later to move your project to a different hardware. So you buy a system from a different manufacturer that runs Windows embedded 7, they call embedded standard, or it runs a Windows CE 7 on an x86 processor. Your project is safe. All the investment that you had developing the project is safe. You just move the project from one hardware to the other one. It's gonna still work. It's differently if you have a proprietary system and you can run only that specific platform. You want to go to a different brand, you cannot need to redevelop everything from the scratch. No, your project is safe using InduSoft Web Studio. A typical deployment of Web Studio would be you're gonna run the InduSoft runtime on a local HMI or on a local headless device. That here on the screenshot you see a couple of manufacturers like Advantech, XMTech, ISPDAS, and Backoff running. Some of them they run both the PLC and the HMI on the hardware, and then you have also the control room. But you can remotely visualize this application using several options. For instance, the web thin clients, you just open Internet Explorer and you can have access to your project. Of course, all the security embedded on it, and your project can be running on those device, headless device, local HMIs, on a bigger control room, on a server, Windows Server 2012 for example, or even on a cloud. And you can remotely access all this project through the browser or through a dedicated viewer, which is our secure viewer, or even through our mobile access feature that gives you access to all the alarms, trending, and tag values that you configure widgets to display the values. You can read, you can write, of course you can protect that from happening from anywhere where you can reach those stations. So a typical architecture, you would have a PLC, a controller, a DCS system connected to the local HMI. That local HMI generating values and data, storing them on a database, for example. But let's say that you are doing that on a machine and you want to have 2 PC panels, one on each side of the machine, and then but you don't want to have 2 applications. You can simply run our secure viewer connecting to that local application through Ethernet. So you're gonna have one runtime but 2 instances of a viewer, one remote, one local viewer of your application. They are independent. The user that is logged here is independent of the user that is logged on the local station. And let's say that remotely you may want to have access to some information about this runtime here using a web thin client, okay, or even our mobile access. And nowadays getting even more popular, the option to run your project or visualize your project through a cloud-based server. So you have the protection with the firewall, but you can then remotely, using a thin client or a SMA client, have access to all the information that's coming all the way down here from the PLC. So InduSoft Web Studio can provide you all this connectivity to your data information. So talking about connectivity, here on this slide you can have access. You have access to the different possibilities that you have from InduSoft to acquire data and propagate this data, getting the data from the field, from the plant floor, for example, and making this data available to other high-end systems, to MES or ERP systems. So we provide with the product over 200 communication drivers to all sort of PLC that you have on the market. It goes from Allen Bradley, Siemens, Omron, GE, Fanuc, Backoff, CodeSys, some common protocols as Modbus over Ethernet, BACnet. So all those different devices we do provide as part of the product communication drivers to all these devices. But we also provide OPC interfaces in all possible OPC flavors, OPC-DA, OPC-UA, including on Windows CE, OPC.NET, and XML. We have clients, and we also have OPC server, OPC-DA server. So if you have an application that is an OPC client, it can connect to our tags database through our OPC server, okay? But we also have a gateway that we connect to other SCADA packages, and we offer also our open APIs that let's say that you are developing your project using .NET, for example, but you want to connect to InduSoft to acquire the values of some tags. You can get our tags database toolkit and acquire data directly from the InduSoft tags database. We also provide an open API to connect into to developing your own communication drivers. You just need to program that in C++, but it's very simple. You can just a few hours write your own communication drivers, and the connectivity to the database, and everything you do it's web ready. You save the screen, you're gonna have it ready over the web. So a little bit more about the database. The nice thing is that it's very simple to configure the connectivity between InduSoft and any relational database. Even if you want to change from database A to database B, let's say that you picked Oracle and now you're gonna go to Sybase. Let's say that you're using Access and you want to go to SQL Server now. Changing that on the project is very simple. It has embedded redundancy in two flavors, full redundant and store and forward. And you can automatically store all your alarms, your events, and your training information. But also you can access specific tables if you want. Do very intricate queries. You can display data on a grid object. So it's a very powerful tool, and we hold a patent of doing all that even remotely on embedded devices. Okay. So the existing tools that InduSoft provides you to create reports, they are very simple to be configured. So on our development environment, when you go to tasks, you're gonna have there a folder called reports. So all you have to do is to create a report worksheet where you're gonna create the mask of your report, and you're gonna put between curly brackets the tags that you wanna have the values on the final report. So here on this screenshot you have, for instance, date, time, you have some tags here. So during the runtime, when we execute the function to generate the report, we're going to generate an output file, just replacing where we have tag values, where we have the tag names by the actual tag values. Okay, and then you have that in plain text formats or in a rich text formats, as we see here on the right side, where you can have more formatting. You can change the font colors, you can add some graphics to it, and so you can see these two report worksheets or the mask of the reports, and after you call them on the runtime, you're gonna have results like this one here. So you're gonna have here the report of the plain text format where we replace the tag names by the actual values. Here on the right side you have the report on a more sophisticated way, but down here you even have on HTML formats, which is plain text. So if you know a little bit about HTML, if you have some programming skills, you can even develop a more elaborated report using the built-in InduSoft tools for reporting generation. Well, let's say that you want something a little bit more sophisticated than that. You want to have tables on your report, you want to have charts, you want to have some statistics calculations. Well, that's where our partnership with Dream Report comes very handy. Okay, our objective is to allow the users to create more complete, more elaborate reports. With Dream Report, you can have richer graphics, you can have tables, you can have all type of charts, and also different report formats. The output, you can have Excel, you can have PDFs. The integration between InduSoft and Dream Report, the way it is happening is Ocean Data System, they developed a communication driver that connects directly to InduSoft Web Studio runtime. You can have access to the current tag values, but also access to our history information, our alarm and event history, and our trend history as well. Okay, the way it works, this partnership, is that through InduSoft, if you want to buy Dream Report through InduSoft, we're going to provide you with a special setup that installs only the driver for InduSoft. Okay, Dream Report is a product that's been on the market for quite some time now. It has drivers to several other data sources. It has OPC, it has ODBC, it has Modbus, for example, and now it has also InduSoft. So the likes that we are going to offer to our customers is going to include only the InduSoft drivers. Okay, so I'm gonna hand now my presentation to Mr. Ilya Chernagul. He's gonna talk a little bit about Ocean Data Systems, the company, show the Dream Report, what it can do, and also display how you can create a very complete report, getting data from InduSoft Web Studio into Dream Reports. Okay, so give me just a second here. I'm gonna make now Mr. Ilya the presenter. So, Mr. Ilya, I'd like to welcome to our presentation now.
Hello, everybody. So, first of all, I would like to present myself and my company. My name is Ilya Chernagul. I'm a technical services manager in the company. A few words about the company. So, Ocean Data System company was founded in 2004. We came also from automation world, seeing that in many companies, good reporting solution, good and easy reporting solution is missing, and that's why we decided to create a product. We name it Dream Report, and Dream Report has a complete solution that give you the possibility to create easily reports. And during this webinar, I will try to show you this tool and show you how we communicate together with InduSoft Web Studio. And here we start. So Dream Report is professional and designer-friendly reporting software. It includes in a package all you need in order to design reports. It can communicate with different SCADA systems and HMIs, and also we have some direct communication drivers like .NET driver, Modbus driver. But today I would like to pay your attention about connectivity to InduSoft Web Studio and how we communicate with it and retrieve the information. If we require to store the data inside the Dream Report database, which is also possible, we can store the data inside the SQL server, MySQL, Oracle, or any open relational database. We can also retrieve the information from the existing proprietary historian. What is important with our tool, when you work with it, you don't need to know any programming and any SQL scripting. So all you see in Studio, it's kind of drag and drop, and you will be easily you will be able easily design your report according to understanding of automation process that runs on your factory. So once again, no IT skills required, no additional installation software required to generate reports. So, and what I will try to do today is to present this to you. So reports can be generated in different formats. Two main formats that we have today is the PDF and Excel, and of course we have possibility to create web reports and export the data into the CSV files. How it works. So once again, the Dream Reports first of all need to communicate with different equipment and different SCADA systems. Once this communication is established, we design our report in Development Studio on Dream Report, and we schedule report generation. It can be monthly reports, it can be reports done on event, and once report is generated in a different format like PDF, Excel, or CSV, it will be published and distributed to a different target. So the architecture of the product is the following. First of all, we create communication to different data sources. In our case, it's InduSoft Web Studio, where we can communicate in three main ways. we can retrieve online information, real-time information from InduSoft Web Studio and store this information inside the Dream Report database. Then we can create reports on top of existing history that InduSoft Web Studio creates, and on top of this history we can create reports. This way you will save some disk space, and you will avoid duplication of the data on both sides, on InduSoft Web Studio database and on Dream Report on Dream Report project database. Once communication is established, we go one level upper, where we say that report needs to be designed. So in this case, we have two parts. Well, part number one is some library of statistical functions that exist in Dream Report, and those statistical functions can be used in order to calculate statistics and present those statistics as part of the report. So there as you can see here, you can generate and calculate minimum, maximum, average, basic statistical calculations, but also you can create more complex calculations that we have in Dream Report, like KPIs. For example, counter. Counter is a function that allows you to calculate consumption, to take first value in the period, last value, and deduct from the last value from the first one, and like this we will be able to calculate the consumption. So all you will need to do in that case, just specify tags that correspond to the counter and time period for which you would like to calculate the consumption. In addition, we have here also some tabular data representation and graphical data representation. You can create your own mathematical expression. So this is first part where you can use existing statistical functions in order to calculate the data and present it as part of the report. On the other side, you can also create some report templates and page templates and reuse those templates once you create a new report or start a new project. Once project is ready and reports are designed, we have to schedule report generation. So we can schedule report generation on calendar basis, once a day, once a week, once a month, and we can also schedule report generation on event, which means that at the end of the batch, or if some event occurred on plant, we can recognize this event and generate, for example, our summary report, which leads to this event. From another side, you can generate reports on demand. Once report is generated, it can be generated once again as a PDF file, CSV file, or Excel file. We have also possibility today to create a web report. Once reports are generated, they will be distributed to different targets. By default, it will be stored PDF and Excel files will be stored in file server, and also will be available in embedded web portal of Dream Report. You can send also files to some FTP server, sent to different recipients in email boxes, print reports, and of course through mobile devices today you can easily access PDF and Excel files available in your email box. Integration with InduSoft Web Studio. So here we are talking about three main parts, native parts, how we communicate with InduSoft Web Studio. So first of all, we can create direct link to real-time tag values and store those values inside the Dream Report database if required. We can also create reports on top of existing historical tag values, which are stored inside the InduSoft Web Studio database. And as well, we can create reports on top of alarms and events, which are stored also inside InduSoft Web Studio database. And all this today is done based on native communication drivers developed especially for our partnership between ODS, Ocean Data Systems, and InduSoft. Development environment. So once we are talking about design of reports, we are talking about Studio that was developed by Ocean Data Systems, and this Studio has quite similar approach to design of SCADA screens or design of PowerPoint. What you see is what you get. You can insert some statistical calculations, some statistical objects. You can insert some graphical objects, tables, widgets, pictures, logos of your customers, and some interesting information like statistical calculation. So once again, no programming or SQL scripting knowledge is required. Dream Report also has all tools in order to be able to validate the project on the level of FDA, CFR 21 Part 11, which means that in Dream Report we have user management, which is integrated with Windows user management. We have version control for reports. Once you create a report, you can control all versions or all changes you did for the report. And of course, what is also important, that runtime will run as a service, which means that you can start the computer and you don't require any login to the system in order to make the project running. It will start together with computer to collect the data if required. It will communicate with existing databases, generate reports, and populate these reports inside the embedded web platform. So if we are talking about user management, we have two parts of user management available. First of all, we can create a list of users or import list of users from Windows domain and create report access based on users which are allowed to see this report. If for some reason you require to create a user which is not part of the Windows domain Active Directory, we can create local Dream Report users which can be also used in order to make login to the system. Once list of users are declared in the project, you can assign different access to different reports for different users, as well as access to different modules inside the product. So like this, one operator just can see reports, another one can not just able to see reports, but also capable to generate reports, and another also can have a right to access project in Designer Studio in order to modify it or edit it. Report version control. Once you activate report version control, every change you are doing with the project, with the report, will be stored and can be tracked after in order to analyze what was done, what was changed, and what are the changes that are implemented. So this gives us possibility, first of all, to validate certain version of a report and say this version was validated by end customer, and since this moment, if customer will ask me to modify some part of report, or to change some information, or to add some additional information, and if this information was somehow not accepted by customer, he gives some remarks, and I have to continue to deploy those remarks, I can always keep the original project running on the customer place by rolling back the version to the version which was validated by the customer, and then when I came back to the office, I can roll forward to the latest version I did for the customer and do some modification according to the remarks of the customer, and like this I'm not losing the time. I'm just doing modifications on top of the latest version of the report that I already did. Once I do some changes, I can save the changes together with comments, and then all those comments I can create audit trail report that will show me date and time when changes were confirmed, name of the report, version number of the report where change was done, username, user who did those changes, and of course comments, what are changes being done. Redundancy. Also, as for SCADA system, of course, reporting tools must have some redundancy. And here, Dream Report is capable to work in redundant mode, which means that we can install two stations of Dream Report on separate computers and run one station as the main server and second station as backup server. Once main server is off for some reason, backup station will recognize it on some cyclic basis and then become active, take the lead for report generation, data collection, and update of reports inside the embedded web platform. You can see here two different structures, two different architectures, how master and backup stations can be configured. One where you require to store the data in a centralized database of the Dream Report, and second where you have local databases, and here in these local databases you can replicate the data in order to ensure that data is always available on both systems. Okay, from this point I will switch to show you the Dream Report Studio and how we are communicating with InduSoft. So I already started demo application of InduSoft, and now I will start Dream Report Studio, which is installed also on the same machine. Once I create a new project, I give it a name. And since this moment, specific InduSoft configuration wizard will be opened. This wizard gives us possibility to, in one shot, to configure all the communication to existing application of InduSoft. So all I need to do is just specify the path where the application is located. Then I need to provide username and password, as we are running in secure environment. And here I read the structure of the project and see that all the configuration is done in default database. Since this moment, my communication level, if you remember the architecture of the Dream Report product, is completed. So as you can see here, I see InduSoft runtime value, communication driver available. You can see here InduSoft HTTP driver available, and we can also check the communication with it. We see here also a driver which links us to alarm history, and all we need to do here, we can create here different filters to retrieve alarms on different criteria. So for example, for the moment I will create one criteria between 0 to 255 priority, and say this filter will be all alarms. Of course, filter can include different criteria here and can include some additional conditions. And the last one is InduSoft events that give me possibility to retrieve from InduSoft database also events. I will name my report production report. And as you can see here, we can store the data on some specific location in Windows folder. We can also put some data inside the FTP. We can, if we store the data inside the Windows folder, we can organize it and sort it by year, by month, and every time we generate a new report, it will be located in accordingly to the time it was generated. So if we are today in 2012, it will be located in subfolder 2012. If we are coming to 2013, so we create a new directory where all related reports will be located. Report file format. As you can see here, we have also a really flexible way to configure file name mask, which means that we can create name of the file when it's generated, PDF file or Excel file, with some information as part of the name of the file. For example, if you generate batch report, you can include as part of the name batch ID. So like this, when you open Windows Explorer, you immediately see which file corresponds to which batch. And of course, report generation time schedule. So by default, we create a new report which is planned to be generated every day at noontime. But if we say that this report is daily report, so most probably I would like to see it ready before I will come to the office, right? And then in this case, this report is going to be generated at 7 o'clock every day at the morning. I can also specify monthly report generation, and of course I can set, okay, this report I would like to generate over the end of the batch, and my criteria for the batch will be some online tag coming from InduSoft. So as you can see here, we automatically create list of tags available in the application, and we can pick any tag which corresponds to indication that we supposed to generate report on when. Okay, let's say if we say that this report is supposed to be generated on minute 40, it's going to be generated like that. Once we set report settings, we can also apply page template to this report. So this page template can include some background, nice backgrounds, can include some pictures of customer of your own. You will see here when report is generated, at what time, and of course what is important also for FDA validation, the number of pages from total number. Once we did it, we can design our report. So first of all, I can add here some chart, or table for a chart. So I just locate it in a position here, and we take the information from external data source, InduSoft, and as you can see here, we will get immediately the list of tags. So I will be able to pick one of tags from the list, said, okay, I would like to generate this, to present in this chart for this tag data for the last 1 hour. And I edit from the same chart for the same tab. So once again, I see my list, take my tag and add it to the list. As you can see, my previous object was defined for 1 hour back, so automatically this object is defined also for 1 hour back. My table is ready. I will just name it. Also here, I would like to put for this tag key calculation. Minimum for the period, maximum for the period, average, and probably sum. So once again, I will take the same tag, add it to the list, and then on the right side I can select what are the calculations I would like to present as part of this table. My table is ready. And as the last point here, I would like to present alarm summary table that will give me information about alarms for the same period. So as you can see here, I declared filter that was designed as part of the alarm driver. I selected, once again, it's for last hour, and here you can see I can display it as alarm summary, and also present some information available in the database. So start time, arc time, end time of the alarm, but also what you can see here, we have also response time and duration time. Both fields will be calculated on the fly once we populate the table. So like this, you will know how much time took for the operator to respond to the alarm or to do some job in order so alarm will be ended. And of course, I can present here some additional information taken directly from the database. So here also I will put the information in 2 lines in order to ensure the data is you have good enough space to present the data. Also, as this is alarm table, I most probably would like to change the color of header to red one, and text will be black. So, like this, we will differentiate two tables. One is raw value taken from historian, and one is alarm table. My report is ready, and now I can save it and start the runtime engine. Once runtime engine is started, you can see when report is scheduled to be generated. You can generate it manually if needed. And of course, what is also interesting that you can easily configure access to the web portal of the Dream Report and see this report available in web portal. So I just need to press configure IS, Internet Information Services. It will be done, and then I can access my report in web portal. Of course, as this report is just created, we didn't generate any PDF file, so in that case, we will see in the web portal that we have 0 PDF files available. What we can do, we can just press on the button, and then the report is going to be generated. So it's an empty, because we can test connection. Okay. And then try to see the information inside. Okay. So it takes some time. Sorry, I made a mistake with this report. So while it's loading into the runtime, I can show you that Dream Report can be easily integrated as part of InduSoft Web Studio. I see why. So this is not the project that I'm supposed to run. Sorry. I had to run demo project. That's why there is no information available. So we start the project, and now we can start our project here. Also, if you are planning to connect to real-time data information from the project, we can do it also. So we can take the data into the Dream Report database and see data updating also in Dream Report. Now we will try to generate a report. Okay. Connection is successfully done. Now we need to restart the project. Generate some alarms. Now generate the report. As you can see here, we start to get the data, alarms, into the PDF file, and now we can go to the reports web portal. As you can see, it's also embedded inside the InduSoft Web Studio, and you can say, okay, this time I would like to generate the same report, but not for 1 hour back, just for 15 minutes. You can also see here history of reports available, and of course once this report is created, you can open Design Studio and create also Excel report. So once we spend already some time to create this data as part of Design Studio, in order to be able to create Excel report, all we need to do is just to go to project settings and say, okay, I would like now to generate this report as PDF report, and as part of this report I would like to put some information like this. Alarm summary and item summary. So just by drag and drop, you will get all information as part of Excel file. Now we will generate it again. In fact, for the moment, Dream Report cannot access the data from the proprietary database, but once we release this version together with InduSoft, we will work on a common API that InduSoft is going to provide us. And based on this API, we will be able to access proprietary database. So in this case, I'll generate now Excel file. And as you can see here, I'm using not Excel from Microsoft Office, but I'm just using OpenOffice, which is commercially free, and you can see easily that my Excel file is open here, so that means that it doesn't require any installation of any Microsoft product in order to be able to create reports in Excel. So if you have some other questions, please ask me while I'm just putting some additional examples of how to generate this report on dynamic basis. So what you can see here, we can also generate reports as from dynamic report generator, which gives you the possibility just to generate this report with some predefined time period or with some non-standard time period. Do you have some other questions? You are welcome to ask.
Yes, we do have on the upper toolbar of your WebEx, you probably have a panel that says Q&A. So you can go ahead and place your questions there, or if you want to do that through our chat, please feel free to do so. Now is the time. Okay, gonna give another few seconds.
Yes.
Yeah, I do see that we still have a lot of people participating on the webinar, so okay, I guess everybody's happy with your presentation, Ilya.
Okay, very good.
Didn't get much.
If you are interested to ask some additional questions, of course you are welcome to contact or Andre or myself. So please, if you don't have questions right now, you may have some questions if you download the software. Try to play with it, and of course you will see the benefits of the product, what it can do, and sure in that case you will see some need to ask questions. So you are welcome to ask questions even offline.
All right, and so on this slide here, you can see our contact information from our different offices here in the United States, in Brazil, and in Germany. The email address, the custom website for each one of them. You got the phone numbers for the US, for Brazil, and Germany. Please feel free to contact us. If we are not capable of answering your questions, we're gonna get the help from people at Ocean Data Systems. And let me just check here. We got one question that came from the chat. Someone is asking if this integration is going to be available only on Web Studio version 7.1. To be quite honest, that's what we are using to validate the toolkit that was used to create the driver. Is based on our version 7.1. It may work with 7.0 or even 6.1 Spec 6, but that's not the intention for us for the validation. Okay, we are basically doing with version 7.1. If you have an older version of Web Studio and it doesn't work with the Dream Reports that was developed for Web Studio, you can still use the full version of Dream Report and use OPC drivers to use the ODBC and OLEDB drivers to connect to the InduSoft information and get your reports as well. Okay, but this version that we are releasing, that we have the integration with Dream Report, that's gonna be based on our version 7.1. 7.1 release, no patches or service packs required for now, just version 7.1, but it may work with 7.0. We're just not planning to fully test it with the older versions. Okay, the question that came through the chat. Okay, no other questions here. So I'd like to thank each one of you that participated on this webinar. I'd like to thank our very special guest, Mr. Ilya Chernoglu, for this late presentation. He's in Europe, and the time difference is pretty big. So thank you very much, Ilya, for doing this.
No problem.
Yes, we are recording this webinar. You're gonna be able to watch it again if you want over the internet. We're gonna make the links available. You guys gonna get an email with a quick survey. If you fill the survey, you're gonna get a t-shirt from us. Basically, the survey is to tell us what do you think about this webinar theme, and also the copy of the presentation you're gonna make available. So thank you again, Ilya, and thanks each one of you that participated on this webinar. Okay, wish you guys a nice evening, a good night, and hope to see you guys again on the next webinar from our InduSoft webinar series. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.